All right, I'm here with on the west side of Salt Lake with Robert Nelson. We're out here by the airport, so that's the sound that you're hearing. I am getting some quotes for Robert for press release on the Line of Zion, and get this stuff. And so I wanted to interview him. So Robert, how did you how did you come from being a kid in Montana to being a expert on reggae in Salt Lake City, Utah?
I moved from Montana to Utah and immediately discovered KRCL and started listening to my predecessor on Smile Jamaica when it was on Saturdays at 1 o'clock, John Rutabaga Reese, and I used to listen to his reggae, and I just became a reggae fanatic, and I'd take my student loans and go to California, especially the Bay Area, San Francisco and Berkeley, and I would just buy music. Back then people were selling LPs for CDs, and I'd buy the vinyl and pick up CDs while I was there, because I had an early morning show for a year. And then when John decided he wanted to move out, him and I did it together, and then he turned it over to me in 1989. So once I discovered Smile Jamaica as a listener, I became a total reggae fanatic. And John was doing great works on Smile Jamaica Saturday afternoons, and Papa Pilgrim was covering the same ground his way Wednesday nights with his show Night Roots. So this town has always had great reggae radio, and so I just took over in '89 and never let go. So over the years, just reggae became an obsession, and I wanted to know everything about it, and I like sharing what I know about it every Saturday since October 1989.
So you're saying October '89 is when you got exposed to it?
October '89 is when I started on Smile Jamaica, but I did radio on KRCL. So I discovered KRCL fall of '86 when I moved here. Became a DJ early morning summer of '88 on a show called 3 O'Clock Roadblock, which was mostly reggae but also world and ska music. So like most new volunteers, you do about a year's time before you can ever get, you do a year's time early morning before you can ever get a primetime slot, either midday or afternoon. And so when John decided he was sort of wanting to have his weekends free, I just stepped in and have been there ever since, Saturday afternoons.
So when you were in Montana, had you heard of Bob Marley or any of those people?
I had Bob Marley's Legend, and I had Peter Tosh's Wanted, Dread and Alive. Those were my two reggae albums. And I bought a lot of music in Montana. I've always bought a lot of music. But the only two reggae ones I had before I discovered KRCL and Smile Jamaica was those two albums. So didn't know hardly anything and learned everything just through listening to Smile Jamaica. And John Rutabaga had great roots instincts, and so I learned off of him, and then discovered on my own just by spending Uncle Sam's money instead of on textbooks and that kind of stuff. I would take my student loan checks and head out to the Bay Area and haul back as much vinyl as I could afford, I guess. $4 a pop back then is what a lot of those albums went for. Now they're like 40 and 50 bucks a shot on eBay.
I've heard some of the rare reggae vinyl is valuable. When do you first remember seeing the red, gold, and green colors?
When I was starting to understand what it was, because I was going to school, and I was going to university at the U of U up on the hill, and so pretty much a lot of people were listening to KRCL, and so I didn't really know what when I would see that shirt on campus in the student union or football games or whatever, I didn't know that it was related to a local reggae show until I started listening to that show. And then I made a pledge and I got it as my gift for $30. That's what it used to be. Do you remember that, Steve?
Yeah, 30, 35. I remember those days.
They were $30. Mine was the goldenrod color,
Okay, so you
The
got really
goldenrod,
early.
the goldenrod color for $30 pledge on Smile Jamaica when Rutabaga was doing it before I knew anybody down there.
So go ahead and tell me about the shirt.
Well, first of all, it's the main shirt that we have, which is the thank you gift all these years for Smile Jamaica. And so, in my mind, as people discover that show when they move here, they need that shirt as their first gift to KRCL, because KRCL is a non-profit and I don't get paid, and that's just how I like it. So what we've done, like for decades now, is use that shirt as the thank you for people who want to make a pledge for Smile Jamaica. And so, because I have friends and family outside of here, my friend Ja Bill from Sacramento, who came out here, he saw the shirt and he loved it. And he wanted to know what store I bought it from. I'm like, no, you don't get to buy these. They're gifts. So you have to listen to know they exist, and then you make a purchase through your donation. So that's exactly what he did. He pledged on Smile Jamaica when I was doing it. And he took his, he was here for we do Smile Jamaica radiothons. Non-commercial radio stations make their livelihood off of doing twice-a-year radiothons rather than sell commercials. That's how we've done it for over 30 years on KRCL, and that's how we've always done it on Smile Jamaica. So he was here for the first Saturday of 2 fundraising Saturdays. First Saturday he made his pledge, got his shirt, went to Yellowstone, ran into a guy who loved the shirt, and so my buddy Ja Bill traded him. I don't remember what he traded him. So he was just camping in Yellowstone, and somebody saw him wearing that shirt and asked him about it. So he traded him a shirt knowing he was going to come back for the second Saturday of fundraising. He can get his own shirt and then head back home to Sacramento. So the other thing about that shirt for me, the personal story for me, is I made pledges. I don't pledge on my own show, but I made pledges, I think Dad Do Man show and Dave's show, Saturday Sage, so I could get Lion of Zions for my brother and my brother-in-law. So my brother opens his gift for me, and it's the really cool red, green, and gold Lion of Zion. The reggae lion, His Imperial Majesty's lion, his national seal. But I always point out on the Lion of Zion that it's Utah related because of the beehive. So a lot of people never notice that beehive until someone points it out to them, even though it's a great feature of the design. So I told that story when my brother was admiring his shirt, and my brother-in-law whispered to my sister, wow, I really like that shirt. I wish he would have got me that. So sure enough, when we're opening our gifts, he gets to my gift, and I got him a Lion of Zion too. So you know, like it's a Christmas miracle or whatever. Everybody was happy that they got what they wanted. So that's the sort of appeal of that shirt for me.
So have you seen it out of state at?
I haven't seen it out of state, but I definitely like I was at Bob Dylan last week, and I bet I saw 4 or 5 of them there. I see him in coffee shops. I see him because I work at the university. Basically, I went to the university and never left as a student and stayed there as a staff person. So I run into them all the time. I've taught classes in the university library where I work, and I see people wearing them. So yeah, it's everywhere, man. If you listen to Smile Jamaica and don't have one, you know what? You really must not be a diehard listener.
So how many do you think you've helped sell or helped
well, we do
contribute over the years?
How many have we? How many products have we moved?
No, how many shirts do you sell at Radiothon? You know?
Well, that show makes about 10,000 a Radiothon, and we price the shirts now as a donation at $60. So I got mine for 30, now they're 60. So you know, but that was 25 years ago, right? So yeah. You would think that that's how it should be.
Well, there's different.
So
changes.
I would say at least a third of that money comes just through individual people picking up. So.
Cool.
So I would say probably $3 of a 10 grand is just off of those shirts alone.
Cool.
So I don't know how many, I don't know what the math is, but is that 50 shirts probably?
You have to
Per
do the-
weekend. So 100 shirts per radiothon?
Yeah.
At least a couple hundred per year.
Yeah.
For 20 some,
So
how many years?
we're-
25 years?
Yeah.
We've never not offered that shirt, and I've been doing it since my first radiothon was fall of '88. So that's coming up exactly on 25 years, right? So we've never not offered it.
Yeah.
And we always sell it. Men like it, women like it.
So, yeah, anything else you want to say?
Not really, I'm just glad that it has a history that relates a story behind why it's been so valuable to people, and your contribution, Steve, of being what I think is a genius designer in a way that you can use the shirt that takes a standard design that everybody knows as the red, green, and gold Ethiopian lion, and add a little something that people don't always see unless they look up close. So in my mind, the thing that makes the lion design is your flourish of the beehive. So kudos to you for that little thing that makes it extra special. And when people discover that, when I point it out to them, then they look at that shirt in a whole new way. So that's to me what the Lion of Zion has meant for me, trying to raise money to keep that show on the air year after year, through good times and bad, where I get to play whatever I want, reggae music, that I learned about by being a listener first, and now the host. So people learn from me as I learned from the station. So, and I'm really glad that the Lion of Zion's been a part of it. I got a black one, I got a goldenrod, and I got the green that I'm wearing. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe we can get a red.
Yeah, I think so. I
like the idea of a red.
That wouldn't clash.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
Robert.
right
Thanks
on.
a lot.
Thanks
I
so
really
much,
appreciate
Steve.
it. You're a great guy.
Right on. Good luck, Steve. Thanks so much.
Bet. Cool. I'm sure we'll get something off that.